Okay, so we'll start tonight with a walkthrough of the whole process from getting a property address, analyzing the comps, estimating the repair, and submitting it into the Deal Genie. Here you'll notice I have an email from my realtor with some properties indicator. This link will bring me to the MLS listing. The particular property I'm going to look at is, let's look at 1027 South Candler Street. 1027 South Candler Street. So once getting that property address, I put it into RealFlow, which is this one, and I go to my property listings by clicking on this board here, going down to properties, and here I create a new property listing. Right here, I just simply type the address in and hit save. In this case, I've already typed it in, so you'll see that that property is on the list here. What I'll do in this case is just search Candler to find my property on the list here, and I'll click on it. Whenever I enter information for the list, I put down my referral source, in this case, referred through agents. So to do that, you simply scroll down and let me lift my screen up a little bit more. Realtor referral. This type of deal is a cash offer. I always put everything in stage one, which is a prospect. It is active, yellow, and then I would call myself the manager of that property. Therefore, I know I'm the one that inputted it. Once that information is saved, I can go through and get much more detailed information about the property and list more detailed information. Say, for instance, the public information here. The system will show you already the owner, the AVM, which is a way of giving an average value. That is not what we use for value. Tax assessed value, that is not what we use for value as well. In this particular property, it is listed, and it doesn't have the listing information here, but I do have it on the other screen, so I will input it. So it is listed. The listing price for this particular property is $420,000. So we'll put that in there. And the MLS number for this property, I'm going to change the view here so I can see the MLS listing for this property. It is one more view change. There it is. All right. So when I look at it this way, I can see that this is the property and the address, and this is the MLS number. All right. Now I'll put that here in the property system. All right. You can choose how much information you need to put there. We just simply need the property saved into the RealFlow system so we can do the comps and also do the estimate of repairs. So once it's in the system, you can see I can scroll up and I can go through the analysis area here. I'm going to do comps evaluation. Now, for this particular property, you're going to, well, every property, you want to look at comps within 1 mile from the subject property. We're going to go 1 mile. Also, you want to look at only sold, nothing pending or anything active, and 1 year out. I always want to be 500 square foot within range of the subject property. So in this case, the subject property is 1601. That means on the low end, I can go down to 1100. And on the high end, I can go up to 2100. I'll do that now. Okay, and then I'll start my comp search. All right, so then I'll take that comp search and I'll look and see what we have. So These are the properties that I've come up with. I have 2 that count, 2 that's invalid, 3rd one, 4th one, 5th one. Okay, great. So we're looking for at least 5 comps. As you can see, the first comp is a value of $350,000 for a 5-bedroom, 1 bath in that same area. And this one is 0.01 miles, 0.08 miles away. So it's very close to the subject property, right? And it's a sold property. The square footage is very similar. So once I get these addresses, I take them over to the Deal Genie. So let's do that portion. This is the comps. Now I would put that information here in the Deal Genie. I think I'll probably have to sign in again. All right. So I would do the same thing. I would create a new deal. I'm not sure if this one's already over here. I think it is. So I would add a new deal here, and I will go through the process of filling out this form for the new deal. In this case, the deal is already input, so I won't go through that here, but I will show you the same information as it's already been input. That's some other software stuff. So, all right, so here, all right, so here, 1027 South Candler Street has been input. All right, I then will just follow this flow. Contact information is mine and my company. That's fine. You operate under my company when you're submitting deals to the Deal Genie. That's fine. Is this a real estate agent involved? The answer is yes. So this was submitted to me through my realtor, who is Jackson. All right. And then the status of this particular one is pending. You know, it could be an offer made already, under contract or on. We don't submit anything fully through the Deal Genie until it's under contract. But here we'll just say pending in this case. This is the address information. This is the asking price right here. And we get all that from the MLS listing. All right, is the property listed on MLS? Yes. That is that MLS number, which we located right here from this screen. Right? I usually pull up Zillow on everything I'm looking at, and I'll do that now as well. 1027 South Candler Street. So let's see. We're going to look at that one. So 1027 South Candler. Zillow gives a good picture of the property in general, so I can look at what kind of repair costs I have. Also, a lot of times I'll take this summary here in Zillow and I'll copy it over here to kind of give a summary of the property, because you know the person that writes that is trying to sell the property, so it kind of give you a few things that stand out, where it's located. It's not required, but I do that from time to time. So as we're going through, and this particular deal is a private deal, going down, you can have deals that are REO or short sales is just a private deal. This is a private deal. All right. Right now, I don't have anything. I haven't gone out to see the property, so I don't have anything else that stands out to me to help with this deal. I'm going to look at the pictures on Zillow and make my estimates. Are you the contract holder? I put yes here. We don't have it on the contract yet. And then here, name of business accepting the purchase contract. I always put Bizstar LLC. There's a training in here, right? That really makes it clear who's the contract, how the contract should be written. It should say or assigned, but we may assign this contract. And there's a training in here, which you'll get a video on that in the future, showing you how to make the contract. All right. You may decide to do an inspection of the property for due diligence. Okay. Is it empty? In this case, I'm not sure. I'm just click not sure in this case. If it is, if they do want to take a look, they being the contractor or one of the partners on the deal, I just hit other. This time I usually just put call me, right? And I'll just put my name right here, right? That may not be the case at the end of the day, but right now, that's what it is, okay? And that can be filled in as time goes on. the email and phone number. And now we're at the comparables. All right. So one thing we're going to do is we're going to do our own comparables, and then we're going to get our real estate agent to send over comparables for one, just only a half mile out. And we want to do that so we can see how active the neighborhood is, not just the general area, but how active that neighborhood is, because those properties that are a half mile out will be more accurate to what's going on in that specific area. But for right now, we're just going to use what we have from RealFlow to analyze the deal. So as I go down here, you'll see Comp 1, Park Street, 350. That came from this street, this one right here, 350, 1,262 square foot. What I like about the Power Flipper, it actually takes the address to square footage with the price and give an average price for each comp, right? So then we roll down to the next comp, Comp 2, Knox Street. I got that one from, so this is $0. That one wouldn't count. This is $0. That one wouldn't count. Those are called handshake deals, and usually are like a family deal where a family member buys it from another family member. I would take Knox here, 375, 1345 square feet, and here it calculates a price per square foot. This continues as we go down our comp list here from RealFlow. This is how unique these systems work together. RealFlow really helps organize information in a database type format, allowing us to pull data from the rolls, the tax rolls, as well as basically making an appraisal for the property. What I like here about the Power Flipper, it organizes this information and it gives you an average, once you put 5 in here, of square footages for the area. So this is the 5 properties put in there. This is the square footage of the subject property. It's 1,600 square feet. We saw that over here. You can see that the square foot is 1,608 in this case. So let me make sure I clear that up. The square footage of the subject property is 1,608, right? The average sales price. This is the average of the properties we just looked at, the 5 comps. This is the average of their square footage. Once you multiply that number times the square footage of the subject property, it gives you an ARV for that property. Now, that's beautiful because now you're comparing apples to apples. Some properties are larger than others, some are smaller, but if they're within that 1 mile range and sold within a year, they can be a comp. Your square footage is what makes them on an equal plane. Once you make that multiplication of the square footage times the average sold price per square foot, you get an ARV. ARV is the after repair value. So if that property is completely fixed up, that's what the ARV should be expected to be. Okay? So now, in order to get our MAO, guys, you remember MAO is the maximum buy price. The maximum allowable offer is usually generated by multiplying 0.65 times the ARV minus the repair cost to give you what the MAO is, which is the MAO, a maximum allowable offer. Here is listed as maximum buy price. Those are all the same things. And the formula, I believe, is also listed here. So the formula is 65% of ARV minus the repair cost. So what's missing right now is the repair cost. Now you see I have a number in here. I'm going to show you how I arrived at the repair cost. The repair cost is also generated in the RealFlow system. So now, while I'm on a subject property, in this case, the property is Candler Street, 1027 Candler Street, I will go here to the repair estimator. Once you go to the repair estimator, you can add a new repair estimation. And that's what we're going to do. In this case, again, it's already been done, but if I hit add, it will start one, and I will just simply create to start it. In this case, because I've already looked at this property, there's one already here as an estimate. We're going to review this estimate as if we're creating it for new. As I click on it, I think I have to click on the pencil. Okay, so because I haven't gone out and looked at this property, my estimations are just that, an estimate. Even if you went out in person and looked at a property, your estimation still would just be an estimate until you really got deep into that. I like to have my contractor go out and give it the final detailed look during the due diligence period. I just like to come up with some round numbers to be able to make an offer. And that's what we're going to do. This may be called a blind offer by some. Okay? So what I do, because I'm now out at the subject property, I pull it up in Zillow as we have it here, and I review the pictures. Okay, this is the pictures according to Zillow. And I'll just flip through a few of these. Okay. So this is 40 pictures. I'll flip through them now to kind of get a general idea of what's going on with the property and what may be needed to have this property repaired in a way that it can appraise for the amount that we're saying the ARV will be. So you can see it's a lot of yard there. There's some issues with the roof and the backside. Not sure if there's any flooding, but I can see that the backyard has a built-up brick area. Okay, like someone may have started some work on this property already. Okay, so I'm just looking through the pictures, and I'll go back and review these pictures as I'm estimating repairs. As I go through it, I'll just continue to review the pictures. Okay, so that's the 40th picture. We're back at the front. Now, I'm going back to make my estimates. In this case, we saw that there was some work needed on the roof. Without having a lot of detail, I'm going full-blown roof repair. This is a rip and replace. I have it checked here. If I uncheck that, you can see there's no repair cost for the roof. In fact, if I say no, there's no roof repair at all. But once I click yes here for roof repair, it gives me the option on what level of roof repair is needed. In this case, I'm saying we're going to rip and replace the whole roof. Not knowing enough about the roof, that's what I'm going with. Someone who may be a roofer may say, oh, no, I can tell now. All I need to do is add some shingles or repair some areas by just looking at that picture. In my case, I'm erring on the long side of saying roof, rip, and replace. As I slide down, also I'm given the option of replacing the gutters. So did this particular house have gutters? Let's take a look. When I look at the gutters, there's one here. They're in pretty good condition. Let's see if I see any other gutters. Unfortunately, I got to cycle through all the pictures to see. I don't see any really gutter. I see gutters there. So to me, when I look at a property, there's nothing wrong with replacing gutters until you see you don't need to. So let's go ahead and add gutters that wasn't in the original. I want to say gutters are needed. So that's $804 for gutters. Once I say yes, it gave me the option to say replace gutters with all the downspouts, the flat cost, or I can do gutters and downspouts. I can demo and install some stuff. So that's another $6. And you can do that by unit price. You'll see how this works a little bit later in this repair estimate flow. Okay, so now we have the gutters. Here we have an exterior finish. The exterior finish, because it's brick, I'm saying we just need to power wash it right now. Power wash will cost that much based on the square footage. Exterior finish. Here, I would say there's some paint needed for the trim. There's some painting needed for the trim. So we see that there are some trim here that will be needed. That's the windows that will need to be painted, looks like on the outside, unless we do vinyl windows. The trim, because it's mostly brick, the trim around the house above the soffit area. So here, just as an estimate, I'm saying paint trim. Now this is an opportunity to estimate what you would want to reserve for that. Just say I want to reserve $1,000 for that. So if it's at 1.65, I would say how many units would give me $1,000? So in that case, I would say roughly 600 units. So I said 600 units. That basically reserves $1,000. I think 606 to be exact. We'll reserve $1,000 for painting trim on the exterior. So this is an estimate. It's not exact unless you already have a painter who's telling you how much it's going to be. Now, estimates can get better and better the more you work on houses or rehab houses or talk with your contractors or your project managers. In this case, I'm giving it an estimate so I can make an offer on this property. Next thing I have checked is windows. If windows are off, there's nothing. But if windows is on, you get an opportunity to choose windows. Windows happen to be one of the most expensive things doing a rehab that a lot of people may overlook. In this case, let's count. I counted roughly 13 windows. Let's go back and look at that property. So 1, 2, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. See what else we have. On the back, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Just count those right there. So that's why we came up with 13 windows. 13 windows times 250 comes up with $3,250. That's window, those vinyl windows, and those are average sizes, buying the windows and having those put in. This repair continues for the landscaping. It was a big yard. In this case, you can actually measure what size yard do you want to think of here. You got a full landscaping makeover, large yard, full landscaping, medium yard. I chose medium yard primarily because the yard looks to be in decent condition, except it may need some things that make it better right here in this backyard part. So therefore, I went with medium. Had you gone with large, you would be just estimating a little bit more money towards your landscaping repair. I hope I'm being clear at that. This is all an estimate. It's accurate from the standpoint of the yard size, and it's accurate from the standpoint of the square footage of the home. But because you're not at the home and you're not actually doing the work, you just want to make an estimate of how much money it would cost for you to set aside for that. I want you to think of it that way. So it could be simple as just, planting some trees, some tree removal, and you would set aside a certain amount of money to do that. In this case, I'm just saying we're doing a full landscaping makeover of medium lots. Okay. Exterior is concrete. I put a yes for that one. Concrete installed for the driveway, patio, and sidewalk. When you look at this property, and we're back at the front of it. Let's see here. Can I find a picture for that front area that concerned me just a little from a repair standpoint? So if you look at this area, that's the back. Okay, so this stone here, okay, this area here, I don't like these stairs. So from this standpoint and from this driveway area over here, and get a good clear picture of it, I would say some work needs to be done here. So in my estimator, I said concrete installed, driveway, patio, sidewalk. I wanted to set aside roughly $3 grand for that. So I put $3 grand for the units, right? That can be more accurate as you have your contractor take a look at it. Exterior, I decided to say yes to a deck, new deck, and that's for the front. I'm looking at that porch and saying I want to make a deck there. So that's roughly $2 grand for a 10 by 10. Now, houses have different size decks and there are different sizes. I could have made a 15 by 15, but in this case, I'm just going with a 10 by 10. As I continue down, also interior painting. Say yes to interior painting in this case. I mean, this is fences and some other things I skipped over. I don't know if the septic has a problem. There is no pool. I don't see a need for a fence. A pergola is like one of those awnings that come from the house, that hangs from the house, kind of like an umbrella from the house. I don't want one of those. So interior painting is my next thing to look at. Here I say interior painting only because there's not any structure damage to the walls. A lot of times you're looking at rehabs that the walls are all torn apart and you got to take the sheetrock down and replace it. In this case, when we look at this property, you can see that the walls are just, the colors may need to change. I'll get back to it. I mean, it's decent inside, but when you do a property rehab, you want to clean up everything. I would probably just paint this and have it a fresh coat of paint rather than having that blue, that yellow, and those things. All right. So continue down. I said yes, interior paint, the square footage, $2. It comes up to $3,200 to paint that. For the interior carpet, I always look at carpet for if you have hardwood floors like this one does. I look at carpet typically for the bedrooms. See, the living room and other areas already have a hardwood floor that looks decent. So I left the hardwood floor as okay, that's okay. But the bedrooms, I don't like the tile here in these bedrooms, so I will carpet that. Now, just for a quick estimate of how I got the carpet repair. It's 3 bedrooms. This is a 3-bedroom property. You can see here. It's a 4-bedroom property, 1 bath. So I just take the total square footage divided by 4, and I come up with this as a unit to give me an estimate of what carpet repair would be. Again, that's just an estimate. It can get better and better as you get closer to the property. I understand what's really needed. Interior tiling, I say yes to that. We want some ceramic flooring in the kitchen, and we want ceramic floor tile in the bathrooms. The reason I chose ceramic, I could have went with some vinyl, some other things, because this is a good, really good ARV neighborhood. I would want to make sure we had the right upgrades in here. Okay. Well, you can see this can be an exhaustive repair list. It gives you the details of everything you can think of. For the kitchen, I love this aspect. Yes, we want to redo the cabinets and the countertops. The countertops look cheap, much more like a renter cabinet tops. But you could decide if you want to buy this house and rehab it for renting, you may do low end kitchen. If you're thinking of, I mean, maybe moving in yourself, or you have some other idea, maybe medium. But to get the best ARV, I'm thinking high end kitchen cabinets and countertops. That's going to be granite, maybe some cherry wood that'll go in there. For the bath, so I grouped all that together as one, right? So the kitchen also, you can do it item by item if you choose to. You can do the appliances item by item as you need to. In this case, I looked at the appliances in this one, what appliances that we have. See here. I think the counters can be updated. These are pretty good cabinets, but they need to be updated. The stove, I can't see enough of it. The refrigerator is an older model. So I would go here and I would say interior appliances grouped. You can go luxury, high end, or medium. In this case, I'm going to go high end, which is a medium between luxury and medium. So that's setting aside $7,000 for high end appliances. The bathroom, I grouped it and just said it's a full bathroom, 2 full baths, replace everything, although it's showing 1 right there. Interior bedroom, what I went with was, I left that alone other than the carpets because I didn't see any issues as far as wall damage or anything like that. Again, it's your choice on how much you want to estimate for your repairs. In this case, I left all that alone, and I just moved on to simply look at the repair estimate for the HVAC. It looks like there's a need for one here, so I can select a yes, and let's do a full-blown installation of $6 grand for HVAC, right? And I'm not aware of any plumbing or electrical issues, so I left that alone. Every rehab will need demolition dumpsters. So I put a yes for that. Under dumpsters, just thinking getting one dumpster is going to be about is that $500. Also, you'll need permits. Right, there's termite and abatement. Right now, we need that one. As an inspector come through, maybe that's something that comes up. But right now, I'm just going to look at permits. Construction permits for the rehab is going to estimate at $1,500 for the city. Construction permits for the deck, roughly $600. Staging, when you're to sell the house, I'm setting aside $2 grand for that. Other contingencies, I typically put between $5,000 to $20,000 aside, depending on how the property looks. In this case, I'm putting aside $5 grand for things I don't know about. Once the rehab starts, I'm going to save this. It comes up to roughly $76,134. So I'll go back to the power flipper. I use that $76,134. I put that here. And that gives me my maximal allowable offer. A maximum allowable offer for this would be $194,647. $194,647. Right? So I'll save this here. I will then go out and put an offer in with, usually I use a 95% rule, so 95% of that 647, 194,647 times 0.95. Hey, that's just me giving an estimate. You could use, you could actually offer the 194,000 and feel comfortable. It just doesn't give you any room to play with if you get some kind of rebuttal. So in this case, I would offer $184,914, which is 95% of that. I will send that out on a offer sheet, and I'll show you how our forms are for our offer sheets. In this case, I have a working relationship with the realtor. I would simply let her know what my offer is, and I would send her over a copy of the proof of funds letter. She would then send that offer in to the seller after I sign a few documents for it, right? Once the purchase price is accepted, you can finally submit this into the Deal Genie. So there's a few more steps to go, but that was really working it all the way down to this point where you can save your work for that particular property, all right, before we begin to really get the paperwork done. All right, the idea of this right tonight was for me to walk you through actually getting a property address, right, submit it into the Really Flow, getting comps and getting a repair estimate, and also submitting those comps and repair estimate into the power flipper so that you can come up with a maximum allowable offer. All right, hope this has been good for everybody. I hope this answered a lot of questions. Guys, if you have the free trial right now and you're not using it, use this video as an impetus for you to actually look at properties and analyze them, even if you're getting them from Zillow. Look forward to an upcoming video on how to find wholesale deals. We have numerous ways to find wholesale deals, and we can analyze all of them similar to how we analyze this deal prior to hitting the final submission into the Deal Genie. Okay? Happy investing, guys, and most of all, take action. I ask everybody, if you're going to do real estate, you're going to need some tools like this. And to me, these are some of the best tools you could use for actually going through a deal and making sure everything works out. Guys, take action at a minimum. Make sure all you do, you're doing well. Take action.